The answer is yes. You can actually die from heartbreak. Love can kill you is not a metaphor anymore. After spending 100 hours of my time studying and researching on this topic, I found out two things. 1. Studies show that after losing a true love, your risk of dying can spike by up to 80% in the first 3 months, with cases of partners dying within hours or days of each other, almost like their bodies refused to go on alone. Like these two men who were dead after losing their wives, and these are real stories. 3 years ago, on May 26, 2022, Joe Garcia died suddenly of a heart attack, just 2 days after his wife, Irma, was killed in the Uvalde, Texas school shooting. The papers reported a Garcia's family member saying, "I truly believe Joe died of a broken heart." They were buried side by side. Mary Tam, while not super popular in the US, was beloved in Britain for her role in the generations-spanning Doctor Who television show. In 2012, she died of cancer. Just hours after delivering the eulogy at his wife's funeral, her husband, Marcus Ringrose, himself died while sitting at his computer, writing thank you notes to those who had sent their condolences. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Google is full of studies and articles where people lose their lives because of heartbreak. Again, the heartbreak can kill you is not a concept of romance novels and movies. It is a real scientifically proven thing now. Therefore, in this video, you will learn the science behind why and how love kills you. But that's not it, as I told you earlier in this video about the second thing I learned in my research. You will learn why the breakup and heartbreak feels like physical pain. Why was your friend crying even after 2 months of his breakup? Why can't you just move on from your ex? How your childhood affects heartbreak. Why some people turn to suicide, drugs, or depression after heartbreak. This video is going to be an ultimate guide on heartbreak for you. And if you're someone who is dealing with heartbreak, then there is a bonus tip: the 3-day rule speeds up your healing at the end. So why does love literally kill? Let's start with what's happening in your body. Research shows that emotional pain activates the same brain regions as physical pain. In groundbreaking experiments, researchers put heartbroken people in MRI machines and showed them photos of their exes while they thought about the rejection. What they saw was astonishing. The same brain regions that light up when you break a bone, specifically the secondary somatosensory cortex and dorsal posterior insula, became intensely active. These aren't just the emotional pain areas. These are the parts that process actual physical sensations. After analyzing over 500 studies, they found these pain centers were so reliably activated that brain scans could predict physical pain with 88% accuracy. This means when people say, "My heart hurts after a breakup," they're not being dramatic. Their brain is literally processing the emotional pain like a physical wound. The takeaway? Rejection doesn't just metaphorically hurt. Your body registers it as genuine physical trauma because, to your brain, social pain can be just as threatening to your survival as physical harm was to our ancestors. But before moving to the next point, I want to discuss one more important thing at this point, which will give you even more in-depth knowledge why heartbreak can feel like going through physical withdrawal. 1. Dopamine. Romantic love activates the brain's reward system like addiction. When your relationship ends, the sudden drop in dopamine, your feel-good chemical, mimics withdrawal symptoms, same in drug addiction. For those who have never experienced an addiction, it feels like not using social media for some days, but on the extreme level, because nowadays we are addicted to social media more than anything. 2. Cortisol and stress response. Breakups spike cortisol, the stress hormone, leading to symptoms like insomnia, loss of appetite, and even weakened immunity. 3. Oxytocin drop. Oxytocin, your love or bonding hormone, decreases, making you crave the lost connection intensely. This biochemical storm explains why heartbreak can feel like going through physical withdrawal. But this pain isn't random. It's a survival instinct hardwired into you, which brings us to the second point. From an evolutionary standpoint, emotional pain serves a purpose. Attachment equals survival. In ancestral times, being separated from a partner or tribe could mean death. The pain of loss motivates us to seek reconnection or avoid future abandonment. Imagine yourself as a member of a 50-people tribe. You are living in a jungle, full of predator animals, like lions, cheetahs, and tigers. You have seen members of your tribe being left behind and eaten by other predator animals. From an early age, you have learned to never leave the tribe, otherwise you will be dead. We might have evolved, and this was thousands of years ago, but still today, we have the same brains. And some of these things are hardwired in our mind. That's why when our friends or family members or girlfriends reject us, we feel this stress in our body, and it pretty much feels like you're not going to survive without them. But here's where things get personal. Your childhood decides how you will handle this pain. Your attachment style formed in your childhood dictates how you will handle your breakups. Here are 3 ways how you will handle heartbreak according to your attachment style. If anxious attachment, then you may obsess, beg, or even stalk an ex because of their fear of abandonment. And you might have seen examples of these people in your friend group or maybe hard somewhere. If avoidant attachment, then you might suppress emotions, detach quickly, or rebound to avoid vulnerability. If secure attachment, then you may grieve but recover faster, seeking support healthily. If you had an insecure attachment style, breakups trigger deep-seated fears of abandonment or unworthiness, making the pain worse. This is why your brain won't let go, it's stuck in a loop. Which brings first to the next point. Heartbreak messes up with your thinking. Here's how. Rumination. The brain obsessively replays memories, trying to solve the loss, but instead it just extends the suffering. When a person who is in a depressed mood ruminates, they are more likely to remember more negative things that happened to them in the past. They interpret situations in their current lives more negatively, and they are more hopeless about the future. 2. Idealization. You remember only the good times, making your ex seem irreplaceable. You think there is no one like her in this world, even if she was just a normal girl. 3. Identity loss. If your self-worth was tied to the relationship, you may feel like you've lost a part of yourself. You are feeling some kind of emptiness, but don't know why. This is why people struggle to let go, because the brain is literally fighting to keep the attachment alive. Your fight becomes against your own brain, but for some, this loop becomes unbearable, leading to extreme consequences. Here's what they do instead. 1. Self-medication. After heartbreak, you may turn to alcohol, drugs, or reckless behavior to numb the pain. But here's the cruel twist. These quick fixes make everything worse. Your brain, already starved of dopamine from the breakup, gets hooked on artificial relief. Each drink or high gives temporary escape, but drains your natural ability to heal. Studies show people who self-medicate take 3 times longer to recover, with higher rates of depression. Worse, avoiding the pain just traps it deeper. Like refusing to clean a wound, the grief festers. That's why you see people still crying over exes months later. Not because the love was special, but because they never truly processed the loss. 2. Chronic loneliness. If the relationship was their primary source of meaning, its loss feels existential. You may feel there is nothing left in this world for you. 3. Hopelessness. You believe you'll never love or be loved again, a cognitive distortion. You have no chance of finding another partner. In severe cases, the pain overlaps with clinical depression. Brain chemistry shifts, motivation plummets, and suicidal ideation can emerge if untreated. But don't worry, because the science shows you can rewire your brain. Here's how. No contact. Cutting off reminders helps the brain reset its addiction pathways. Delete all the photos and messages you have of her or him. Also other objects like gifts, and try not to go to the places where you used to go with your ex. That's important because our brain is very good at relating feelings with objects. 2. Reframe the narrative. Writing about the breakup as a lesson reduces pain. Studies prove this. You can write about the mistakes you made choosing the person, the red flags you ignored, and promise yourself not to do it again. 3. Social support. Even if you want to isolate, connection speeds recovery. Spend time with your family and friends. Try to share with them what you are going through. 4. Novel experiences. New hobbies and travel help rewire the brain's reward system. You don't have to go to another country to reset your brain. You can travel to the different cities of your own country. But if you can afford it, why not other countries? As you might already have experienced, time is everything. The brain naturally dulls emotional memories, usually 3 to 6 months for acute pain. Just give it time, everything will be okay, and try not to do something stupid which you will regret for the rest of your life.